when I joined the course of VisionIAS, I was in the final year of my graduation. Before opting for VisionIAS, I had searched for many coaching institutes that were surrounding it. So it was Vision that has been able to attract me. The reason being very simple, because the plan was very clear. They were very clear when they'll complete every subject, who will be the teacher, that was also told to me in advance. So I felt that the programming is very good, so I should continue with something that is more planned, and that's why I opted for Vision Foundation course. Plan was so structured that it made me structured with it. I was very sure that I have to do all the PYQs, because by PYQs you not only understand that what is the favorite topic of UPSC, you also understand that how UPSC molds its questions, how it is evolving over years. Try as many mock and full length tests as you can, especially if it's your first prelims.
Basically very important for a student to identify their core strength in CSAT paper.
I believe that parents and my siblings created those environment that I can study, so it worked well. It's better to fail in the mock rather than failing in the final exams.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's session of Toppers Talk. Today we have Swati Arya with us. She secured All India rank 366 in recently declared UPSC examination result. Many congratulations to Swati.
Sir.
Swati come from Narwal,
Nirvana.
Narwan. It's a town in Jind district of Haryana. She took public administration as her optional paper. And the most important thing that she prepared from the comfort of her home.
Yeah.
She was an online student in VisionIAS foundational course. So these are few unusual things which make her feat much more remarkable than the other regular achievements hai. So again, wish you many congratulations
Thank you,
on
sir.
this. And here we would like to know that now it's like when result come, most of the time all of the people who get selected, they are very quite overwhelmed, but now few weeks are gone, and so how do you basically look at this result, and what are the emotions right now? What are you feeling with respect to this result?
First of all, I felt very blessed because UPSC is such an exam, even the topper, the first ranker doesn't know whether he'll be in the list or not.
Bilkul.
So I felt very blessed, and overwhelming of emotions happened for few days because I had thought of just an exam and we have to crack it, but it was much more than that, and the feeling is very upright now. So yeah, a lot of feeling has been going on, a sinking of something is happening, and with that I am also thinking about what I have to do right for the next attempt of mine, and also celebrating what I had achieved.
Certainly, you deserve all the celebration and the congratulations. Tell me, like you joined Vision IAS Foundation course in 2023. What exactly went in your mind around that time? Because you graduated also in that year only.
Yes.
So you graduated in 2023 and then you joined Vision IAS Foundation course. So what were your expectations from the course, and to what extent Vision IAS Foundation course basically met those expectations of yours?
So actually, when I joined the course of Vision IAS, I was in the final year of my graduation. So I wanted something which can make me understand about the UPSC CSE examination, that what are the demands, what I have to study, and how I have to plan my entire year after that, so that I can prepare myself for this exam. So that was my expectation from the coaching from the Vision IAS. And before opting for Vision IAS, I had searched for many coaching institutes that were surrounding it. So it was Vision that has been able to attract me. The reason being very simple, because the cordial invitation, first of all, the people here was very cordial to make me understand that what is the program and how they will continue with it. The plan was very clear. They were very clear when they'll complete every subject, who will be the teacher, that was also told to me in advance. So I felt that the programming is very good, so I should continue with something that is more planned, and that's why I opted for Vision Foundation course.
Okay. So Swati, usually what happens that when people start for this preparation, or when they day zero, I will say, when they have decided that I am going to prepare for this exam, they are very motivated to do a lot of hard work. So hard work as such is not a problem, and they also know that the examination is difficult and it will require a lot of patience and hard work. But the biggest hurdle at that point is the confusion with respect to the sources, the strategy. What should we prepare first? Should we read NCRT first, or should we go ahead and start with the core books like Lakshmikant, etc.? सो लाइक इस तरह के कन्फ्यूजन्स आपके भी दिमाग में थे जब आपने शुरुआत किया, और इस तरह के कन्फ्यूजन्स से डील करने के लिए विजन ने किस हद तक आपको मदद की?
डेफिनेटली कन्फ्यूजन्स आर देयर बिकॉज जब आप एक नए एस्पायरेंट हो तो आपको नहीं पता कि क्या करना है. टुडे सिटिंग हेयर टेलिंग दिस इज़ गुड, वो बहुत आसान है, बट व्हेन यू स्टार्ट यू डोंट नो एनीथिंग. You are just a person who had just graduated and had come to life and you want to prepare for this exam. So it's very important कि आप चीज़ों को बहुत प्लान तरीके से करो, पर वो प्लानिंग बहुत बाद में आती है. It begins with a load of time, load of effort, but in starting I would just say just start. Just start reading books, just start having conversation that you are going to have this exam with you as a dream. So that is very important. In this regard, Vision has helped me in core because the classes were there, they were completing subjects, I was completing with them. They were telling that these are the subjects that we are covering, from here we have the notes, and then you can refer to these books. So they were giving me standard books as well that I have to read, so that helped me. And also, after a long path of just studying, I had realized that there are three things that we have to focus firstly in the starting. That first is what we have to study, and that is the syllabus, the UPSC syllabus. They had given you what you have to study.
बिल्कुल.
Then how we can approach that study, that is the PYQs. You can refer to that material and you can understand that what UPSC wants from the syllabus as well. And then come up with the standard books. One source for one subject, and you can continue with it. After that, you'll develop your strategy. 3 months or 4 months के बाद आपको खुद समझ आएगा कि क्या करना है, and then you can develop your strategies there.
बिल्कुल. So like it's very important that you to start things basically, and for that there is not that many things. Basically you just need to start with some NCRT, have a understanding of the syllabus,
Definitely.
PYQ, and just start. And on the course, basically on the way, the final detail of the strategy become clear.
Yes.
Right? Am I right? That's
Yes,
what you
yes,
mean, right?
definitely.
तो यही है कि like it's very important to start without thinking too much about the planning how things will happen, because one, that the examination is very dynamic, isn't it, Swati?
Definitely,
The examination
very
is so
dynamic.
dynamic, it changes almost every year. The prelims and the pattern and PYQ, the changes are there, right? So tell me, how long did it take basically for you to cover entire syllabus in the coaching as well as on your own? What was that point from day zero that you got some level of confidence that I am now exam ready and I can take the prelims or mains, basically I can be part of this exam?
So to clear myself as exam ready, my strategy was very simple, that I have to study what everybody else could have studied. That means that if somebody with me is writing the prelims paper, if these are the standard books that he could have referred, or he would have done it for 13 times, 20 times, I was like, the day I'll be ready with this material, I'll give my attempt. And also I was very clear that my first attempt will be my best shot. Of course, it had not worked for me, but this was very clear that I'll not give this exam just to see that how the exam is. I have PYQs for that, I can refer to that material. So for me, I studied the basic books, I revised those books as much as time it was possible. And after that, I was like, "Ki, now what are the things that could have been done by an AIR1 before their prelims? I had done those things. I may make mistakes, but this is the time that I have to give a self backing to me that I'm ready to write a prelims." And then I went for my 2024 attempt.
Okay, so sorry, what I understand that you basically limited your sources. You
Definitely.
finalized like these are the books, these are the part of your preparation. Once you are confident about it, once you are comfortable with it, then you will basically
Definitely.
appear in the examination. So you had a target before the prelims.
Yes.
Usually like people make prelims as a target कि ये हमको clear करना है, but you had a target in terms of your preparation, a concrete target that once I am okay with it, then only I will appear in the prelims.
Yes.
So that can be a good strategy for some. All right. So in terms of like cushion also, people say like you joined test series also for prelims.
For the with the foundation course, I got the test series.
You got the
So
test series.
yeah, there was mini test series which was subject specific. So when I used to complete a subject, I used to take the test, And after that, I used to analyze what are the new things that I can take from this test, from the answers that are given. So I'll add them. After that, I give full length test. But in full length test, my focus was not on value addition on my notes. I
Okay.
had decided what I have to study. I had once added based on the question that was by mini test. So now I will just understand that how I have to attempt the final paper. So
Okay.
for that, I use the full length tests.
Okay, so for in full length test, if let's say if you get some new facts or data or something which you have not studied, mostly current affair thing, then you used to make notes of that, or you used to believe, I already have something, I will not add anything from these tests.
So for me, it was very important that my static was clear. I had already mentioned that those
Hmm.
books should be something which are backing me for
Okay.
prelims. So for mini test, I have added. For the final and test, if I feel that this is something very static or something very relevant for this year
Hmm.
from the current affairs,
Hmm.
for example, the state of Hormuz, if the question can be asked from it, if I'm not prepared for that, that would be foolish on my part.
Bilkul.
So if something like that would be asked in the test series, I'll jot it down. I'll add that in my notes only. I'll
Okay.
not make separate notes for that.
Hmm.
But other than that, if there is some static part or some history, very factual question, that I would not add in my notes.
So basically, you also tried to evolve your own understanding of what is going to be a relevant thing in this examination, this year particularly.
Yes,
So you were not just a passive recipient of all the information. You used your discretion when it came to the selection of the topic as well as the resources, right?
definitely.
And it's a very important point that you, like the aspirant, should not become a very passive recipient कि यहाँ से भी जो material मिला कहीं, because nowadays there is a lot of so many sources are out there in a digital world जहाँ से आपको बहुत कुछ मिलेगा. तो कहीं ना कहीं एक टाइम के बाद you need to develop a certain level of discretion, certain level of filter within yourself कि भाई ये मुझे नहीं सही लग रहा तो आई विल नॉट गो अहेड विद इट irrespective of what others say about it. Very good, very important. So so basically I wanted to ask कि जैसे prelims में people say that 10,000 MCQ you must appear in or you must solve before you appear in the prelims examination. तो आपका भी ऐसा कोई नंबर था कि इतने मेरे को MCQ लगाने ही हैं?
I know that was never the target.
Okay.
But one thing was very sure that I have to do as many as PYQs as I can. So from January of the 2024 as well as then 2025, I started doing PYQs very thoroughly, made separate notes for them. So that was always my target. I was like, I can miss mock. I will give less mocks. I have just give 2-3 mocks this year. But I was very sure that I have to do all the PYQs, because by PYQs you not only understand that what is the favorite topic of UPSC, you also understand that how UPSC molds its questions, how it is evolving over years. So that is also something which is very important. For example, modern Indian history's participation in prelims has decreased, the ancient Indian history has increased. So these kinds of evaluation you can only do if you are thorough with your PYQ. So that was always my target, but this 10,000 questions was never
Okay,
the
that
target.
wasn't the case. Okay, good. So let's come to the D day, the examination day of prelims. So on that, any particular ritual or anything which you followed, like you appeared twice in the prelims and you cleared both the time. So anything just before, like, so nowadays, like today there are approximately 2 months left for the prelims. So anything that you can say or anything just before the prelims examination that you followed, you would like to share anything about it?
Just before the prelims, for one day, I didn't study, and that was because I just want to be in a normal state and not in a very overstimulated state of
Okay.
mind. And in these 2 months, I can say do a lot of previous year questions, revise your static part very well, focus on the major subject, that is history, polity, economics, and geography, and try as many mock and full length tests as you can especially if it's your first prelims, because that simulation that you create in your home, it is then well replicated in the examination center. So that is also very important.
Okay, okay. So simulation part is also very important. Simulation basically mean that you should put yourself in an examination environment. She was preparing for her home from her home, so she at her home itself she used to have that key 9 to 11, then
Yeah, yeah,
from 1 to 3. I mean 2 to 4. So she'll be having that environment where she's sitting during that time, so that her biological clock and everything is accustomed according to the need of the day, basically need of the
Yeah, sure.
examination. So it's very important, and Vision IAS conduct an examination
Yes.
on that line, Abhyas, basically in which our main focus is to ensure that the student, the aspirant get the that an examination environment कि किस तरीके से आपको उस दिन feel होगा. Okay, so in the on the examination day, basically, how many question did you attempt? And usually they say that 30s is the number where people are actually confident, and then beyond that there are calculated guess. So what was in your case?
So this year I attempted 93 questions.
Okay.
There was a high mark, and just after completing the first paper, I was like, "Oh my God, I attempted a lot more. It was not necessary." But for me, calculated guess kind of thing doesn't work. If you are able to eliminate the options, you can do that. If you really know the answer, then you should go for it. And also, there are a few questions where you just being from the background, because I have botanical background, there were questions with respect to the species, the fungi, and all. So those things can also work for you, just because you know the basic crux of that. This year, those questions were very high, so I was able to attempt to 93.
And what was the first attempt? How many questions did you attempt then?
Close to 85 or 86.
So, like, did you follow some round, like in first round, these many questions then? Because like you cannot have the same level of confidence in all the 85 or the question that
Definitely.
you attempted. So the like in the if we can we put the questions in the category like here in certain question you were very confident, like almost 100% confident, but then the confidence level was low, and then basically you took some risk there.
So my approach for the prelims paper is that I read a question, I try to have my 100% concentration on that question. If it is not there, for any chance it is missed, I'll read that question again, and then I'll decide what is the answer I'm going to have. I'll
Okay.
never reach that question again after half an hour or something. I believe that once I had read and I had thought of that this is the answer, then it is the answer. If I had thought that I have to miss this question or I will not attempt this question, I'll decide that. 100 questions in one go I do, or sometimes if I feel I'm very exhausted, so I'll fill my OMR after
Okay.
50
Okay.
questions or 55 questions. If I feel I need a break but I cannot waste my time, so let's just give 2 minutes and fill those 50 questions first, and then again with 100% of your concentration go on the next question.
Okay, okay. So you used to just finish the entire answer
Hanji.
sheet in one go.
Yes.
Okay. And how many like so? What was your success ratio in this? Like in first go, you attempted in 80s, like in your first prelims, and in the second you attempted around 90s. Now the marks are out there. So how much did you score?
So in my first attempt, I scored 105 marks, and in my second attempt, I am probably, because I had also filled for Indian Forest Services, so my marks are not released. But with the answer keys that were around, it was close to 125.
Okay, that's very good number. So and what about CSAT? Did you have any problem with CSAT?
Definitely. I'm very bad at maths. So I was like that I have to focus more on the comprehension part and the
Okay.
reasoning part, because I can score marks only from there. For maths, I start like panicking if maths questions are there. So I am not focusing upon that part. And also, there was preparation for it. From January, I start the focus preparation on prelims. And also, there are 2 to 3 hours that I give from January only to the CSET part as well. Because it really feels very heavy on that day, because you had already done one paper and there are speculations whether you will clear it or not. And then in
Bilkul.
that environment with that summer and heat, you have to give the CSAT paper, which is you are not very confident of as well. So I tried that from January onwards, I prepare for it. I attempt as many questions, as many tests for that as possible, and then basic revisions of the formulas or the facts for maths as well, even if the questions are not been able to be in my zone for the reasoning. So I do that.
So it's basically very important for a student to identify their core strength in CSET paper, because not
Definitely.
like in CSET also there is a syllabus and there are 2 3 parts. So it's better to identify your strength and focus there,
Yeah.
because eventually it doesn't matter how much you score as long as you score the minimum cutoff.
Hanji.
That's a very important point. So this was prelims. Let's move on to the mains. In mains, I will say that you just mentioned that you pursued botany in your graduation. So you come
Yes,
from
yes.
a science background, but you opted public administration. So how did you make that choice? Like how did you like what were the options that you consider before finalizing the public administration?
So the option initially was botany only, botanical sciences. But I was facing few issues. First, the syllabus was very vast. And the second problem was I take a little bit more time in making diagrams. which is a need almost in every question for botany. So I thought of, let's just focus on some other optional as well, which I can consider. Let's switch off the rigidity that I had earlier. So then I studied some anthropology, which I found very much similar to the botanical aspect and the zoological aspect, and there again the diagrams and all part. So the science was again conflicting. So I was thinking that if I have to go with science, why I am switching it. So then I went for public administration. I thought that the syllabus was very concise. It is something which is enjoyable. It is something which is related to what I want to do in the future life of mine. And also, I thought of that I had done botany. I do not want to pursue the masters. So let's just invest my 2-3 years to gain that much level of confidence or knowledge in some other subject. That was public administration. So the choice shifted there.
Okay, that's nice. And in mains, it's a marathon exam basically. It goes on for so many days. So, like while preparing from your home, how did you basically prepare yourself for this mains part of the examination and this foundation course particularly? How did it help in preparing for the mains?
So basically, first of all, because you had cleared prelims, so you know that your basics are clear. But in mains, what you need is that within this basics, you need some pointers. You need some value addition with respect to good examples and then the data that can back it. So my first approach was, let's make notes, pointers based note with some value addition for each subject. That I did for all of the subjects majorly. Some few subjects like art and culture, I just revised from the prelims note and didn't make the main specific notes. So that was one approach. Second approach was a load of revision for those, so that in those 7 minutes I'll be able to put those 10, 12 pointers in every question that are there. And then a load of answer writing. Initially I thought that my speed is not very good. I was writing one 10 marker in 8.5 minutes. So I reduced in then to 8 minutes, then to 7.5, and then 30 minutes or something, 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So that worked for me, the answer writing part. And then the full length test. And the last and the most important part again was simulation. The same environment, same condition, turning the fan off because you cannot know what is your center. So all those things worked for me in mains.
Okay, okay. So, Swati, like, it's very interesting the way you explain and so exhaustive. So, before I get into the detail of mains, I want to know, like, I'm curious about it that when you were preparing at your home, sometime it is good, comfortable, and it's a safe and secure environment, and you get all the support from your parents and family. But at the same time, sometime it can be a bit like disturbances might be there your because you are not alone, you are with your family, so like other people are also there, you need to engage with them. Like here, like when you are out here in ORN and other places outside of your home, you can shut yourself, right? But sometimes it's not possible at your home. And at the same time, to be disciplined, to be consistent, so I want to know that how you were able to achieve that consistency and discipline at your home. Or what were the challenges which you actually faced while you were preparing at your home, and how were you able to overcome those challenges?
So for my graduation, I had the opportunity to live in Delhi and be acclimatized to the environment. But it was not so suitable for me. There was so much of rush and crowd, and I also came here for joining the course of Vision IAS, and I felt that there is so much of voices that are there, which I have to shut down first. So that's why I opt to be at my home for the preparation. There were challenges. There were people that were coming. Sometimes relatives will come and they were like, "Why you are sitting? Why the post graduation is not happening yet?" And I do not want to share with everyone that I'm doing the UPSC part. I want to make it a secret.
Hmm.
So that was the part. But my family was very supportive, and also I have a nature that I really do not like to sit in a lone room and study
Hmm.
because it makes me depressed. I feel
Hmm.
like that I had really shut off my life just for this exam. But being at home, talking with people, interacting with parents every day, first it was good for my mental exhaustion. Every time I am depressed, I'm feeling sad, my marks are low, I can tell them. And I don't know what happens, but just by telling them this, I feel that the burden is now shifted to them. I had done my part. So that was the thing that was working for me. And also, the environment was very cozy for me, I would say, because here you have to manage thousand things about yourself only. There it
Certainly.
was managed by somebody else. So that worked for me, and I believe that parents and my siblings created those environment that I can study, so it worked well.
And the Vision IS Foundation course which you availed online, that is like in what sense basically it helped you, like with respect to your routine and with respect to these non-academic aspect of your preparation?
Vision IAS was, as I initially mentioned, first is that the plan was so structured that it made me structured with it. So that was a very, very important aspect. It also made me realize that what we have to study. Sometime for a new aspirant, saying for me it is very easy that study the syllabus and study the books. But it doesn't work like that. We don't know. We want to read the Vision IAS module as well, the Lakshmi Kant as well, the class notes as well, or the Constitution of India as well. This is the basic that we want to do for polity. So the teachers here were so cordial, and they were so nice to say even that do Lakshmi Kant, do standard books, and just refer my notes to understand that better. So those kind of things had worked so well for me. Thirdly, because it was an online, it was an online mode, so I was at home comfort, and my classes used to be from 5 to 8. So this is
Okay.
generally the time when you are a little down. You had already studied for 7 8 hours. So then just taking a class and taking notes and listening and interacting with the teacher, it was way more easier for me to feel a little relaxed as well. And at the same time, I'm utilizing my time just to take classes. So that worked very well.
Okay. And what about like doubts? If you have any doubts, how effective was this online VisionIAS course and portal? How was the experience? Were you able to ask your doubt promptly with the faculties during the live classes? And overall, उस sense में आपका experience, like not just the you are understanding. Understanding is one part, but what if you have some doubt? What if you want to interact with the faculty? So how convenient and accessible was the faculty for the online students?
With respect to doubts, my approach was a little different. Generally, students do that if they are listening something in class and they had stuck there, they'll just have the message that I'm not able to understand it. My approach was, let's just first sit with these notes, read them first, and then understand what are the part that you have not been able to connect to yourself and to the final parts. In this regard, then there were teachers who had shared their mails and their contacts with us. I was able to contact them. Generally, in the portal, there is one place where you can just register your question and the answer will be given. That was also something which I utilized a lot more. So that was my approach, and it was very convenient because in 1 day or the 2 day, you will get your answer and the things will be sorted.
Okay, so like communication, connection wasn't that much of a
Yeah,
problem. Okay,
definitely.
good. So coming back to the mains part, so during essay, I saw that you also enrolled in the essay enrichment program. So how was your experience? Like anything in particular that helped you from that program, or overall, like what was your strategy with respect to the essay?
For the essays, I had seen that when without having a lot of a discussion with somebody, when I wrote essay, the
Hmm.
marks were good. But
Okay.
when I refined it again and again on the expectations of other, it had decreased.
Okay.
So that was my issue because I write a lot of essays and then it became refined to the expectations of somebody else rather than my fluteness to write that essay. So in this regard, the Smriti ma'am helped me a lot. She was like that this is the essay part. First understand what is the demand of the essay and then just write what you can write about it in manner what you want to write in that manner. So that shaped me in 2024. That was the mistake that I even created an essay and that I improved this year. So she has helped me with that, and then I wrote some limited 4 or 5 essays with the essay the program here, and then whatever be the feedback that was there, if I felt that that feedback was too overwhelming, I would ignore that. That was not the case actually. The feedback was very concise actually here in the Vision IS, but at some institute
Sometime that's
it
not the
was very
case.
comprehensive as well,
Hmm.
not so easy for me to accumulate at that point of time. So that was my approach. So Smriti ma'am helped me, and it made my essay to be mine. So even though they may not be that good that I can score 120 plus or something, but they made me confident that I can write
You're
essays.
right.
So that had worked for me.
And before like UPSC, like did you used to write or any habit of writing or reading you had before starting with this preparation?
Yes, I am actually a writer. I really likes to write, writing about events, writing about things, writing about conversations, and also sometime my father is associated with the Kanya Gurukul Kharel, and they make a smarika, the revision of the 25 years of their journey.
Hmm.
So I make some edits in that as well. So writing is something which was so likable to me. But when I came to UPSC preparation and the essay part, I realized this writing and that writing is very
It's very
different.
different.
So everybody on the same plane, and you have to build from there. Whatever you love to write or don't love to write, that doesn't matter really.
Okay, okay. So, and what about like GS papers? you joined some test series, you availed, basically you wrote certain papers. So what was your journey with respect to the quality of your answers at the beginning, and how answer writing and the test series actually helped you in improving the quality of your GS answers?
So initially, I was told that you should just start writing answer. First, break that inertia that you cannot write. So I used to write answers sometime in paragraphs, sometime very big sentences, or just five sentences, but very big. The five pointers and very big. So that was the starting part. 8.5 minutes, 9 minutes to cover one answer, and that too not very effective. But later, as you just write and then you see the model answers, then you see the feedbacks that are given to you, and also the topper's answer sheet. So from there, two things happen. One is your answer gets shapes, which is required from the diagrams to the parts that you need to write. Sometime extra edge that you have to write, especially in 15 markers. Sometime that could be way forwards or some mention of the government schemes. So that part happened throughout the journey in the test series, and also the value addition part. Initially, you just write what you have studied in the notes or in the standard books, which is not enough for mains being so competitive. So, with the economic survey, the budget that is coming up, or the some current affairs, so they add the value addition and also the model answers. In the test series, from there you can just pick up some data or some good example that has been quoted in the answer. So this way, it is a very gradual journey,
Gradual
but
journey.
it works like that only.
Yes, and very often, like when people start and they are about to write their first mains and they are basically preparing for the like first time, they find it key current affairs has a very tremendous amount of role to play in the mains answer writing.
So my approach to current affairs was I used to refer to the VisionIAS magazine. I had never read any newspaper.
Monthly magazine.
Yeah, the monthly magazine,
Okay.
and there was a strategy to cover it. I used it generally has 120 pages. Generally,
Okay.
sometimes less or sometimes a little more, but generally 120 pages. So I'll read 12 pages a day. So I'll complete it in 10 days. Then in the next 10 days, I'll revise it, and in the last 10 days of a month, I'll revise the previous month's monthly magazine. So that way, every monthly magazine of mine was revised 3 times. And I had realized that I have a visible memory. So for me, the things are not learned here; they are on the pages, and then I put that it was written there. It was written there. So that way, it was important for me to revise things from the same source that I had read them. So that I did, and Vision IAS also give the short news as well.
Short notes,
Yeah, so
yes.
that was good for prelims and sometime for value additions in main. And they also give very long news, which is something more relevant to the mains. So they give the positive aspect of it, negative aspect of it. So that remained my source for current affairs even in prelims as well as mains.
Okay, okay. So like you basically focus more on the throughout the year current
Hanji,
affairs
yes.
rather than just focusing on the crux of it. Okay, fine. So and what about your optional like public administration? What was your strategy? How did you prepare for it?
With respect to optional, initially it was difficult because I had not any background with the public administration. But then I referred to some notes, some topper notes, and I had realized that these are the things that I have to focus upon. For example, thinkers in the paper one is very important. Very gradually, I made notes for them and I realized what is required to be studied. Then I thought of that the basic idea of what is public administration is now known to me. Let's move on to some high standards books that I can refer. For example, Mohit Bhattacharya, Aribam, Nicholas Henry's book. So these are those books that I referred afterwards, just because I
Okay.
knew the basics of it, so that I'll be able to more relate to the standard books. Then I read those books.
So you mentioned that you started with the basics. So like from and you mentioned that Mohit Bhattacharya and other books, Nicholas Henry and Aribam. So you read them later. So like what did you study then? Like for basics, what were the sources?
For basics, there were some notes available
Acha,
in the
online notes.
Hanji, yes.
Okay, okay, okay. From there you got it. Fine. You appeared for the interview first time in this year only,
Yes.
and your interview date was also quite early, just after like in the early first week only, I guess.
Yes, it was on 11th of December.
So how did you prepare for that? Like, did you have enough time, or like did you start early? So how was the experience? Because it must be a bit chaotic, I assume.
Definitely. Just after writing the mains, I was on a long break. I was not doing anything because I was too exhausted after that. And I was also feeling some burnout because when I was not able to clear the mains for 2024, I was not in a very good state with this exam, but I was just continuing with whatever is happening around me. So after that, I had the time to take the break. So I took a long break. So nothing was prepared. The result came on 11th of November, maybe. And on 12th, I came to know that I am in the list and finally I have to
Okay.
give for the interview.
Okay.
Then I started preparing for the interview. I don't know, I had some instinct that maybe I'll be called very early. So that's why I was very frightened. And also, it was my first interview. So I thought, let's prepare whatever I can prepare. First focus was on the complete understanding of the DAF. So I invested a lot of time in that. Even before filling the interest and the hobby, first I was thinking that, of course, I had did that part, but if
Mm-hmm.
that part is now relevant to my personality, if that part is something which I connect now, because it's 1.5 year I am totally involved in only in UPSC. So that way I filled those interests very calmly with load of questioning to myself. And in that questioning, I was also writing the answers that was relevant for the part of the UPSC interview. So
Okay.
that way I prepared all the DAF, all the interest and everything. And then I quickly jumped to the current affairs part because I had very less time left.
Certainly. Hmm.
So that was the part. And of course, on 3rd of December, the list came that you have to go for interview on 11th. Nothing was prepared, from the dress to the mentality. And yeah, then I prepared and it was really very, very chaotic.
Okay, okay. The experience was good during
Very,
the.
yeah, yeah, definitely very
Okay,
good.
okay. So, Swati, now like you are selected, you are in service, and you come from a background, Haryana. It's a great achievement. It's a great feat that you have been able to achieve, and of course, due credit goes to your family and people who supported you also. So, what are your plans now at this point? How do you look at the services, or what exactly is ahead in front of you?
So initially, when I started preparing for UPSC CSE examination, the thought was always to be part of civil services. That differentiation of being an IAS or IPS or IRS was not so relevant for me. So I'm very happy that I am able to be in these services. So that celebration is going on. I'm feeling very blessed again. I mentioned it earlier. And also, I am trying to understand that where the mistakes are in this attempt, which I can improve in my next attempt, so that my credibility will increase in this examination. So that is the current focus.
Okay. Okay. I think we have covered most of the part of the preparation. Let's just to the audience if they have any questions from the Swati.
The issue with most UPSC aspirants is not effort, it is foundation. A strong foundation means three things. Learn in the right sequence so subjects reinforce each other. Apply early through answer writing and testing. Correct continuously through proper diagnosis and feedback. This is what the GS Foundation course at VisionIAS is built around. Connected GS coverage, not isolated subjects. Early writing and testing, not last-minute panic. Diagnostic test analysis with clear corrective steps. Current affairs organized into usable themes for prelims and mains. Regular mentorship to prevent drift. Effort is common, structure is rare. If you are serious about UPSC, start by getting the foundation right. Upcoming classroom batches: Karol Bagh 9 March 11 am, 13 March 8 am and 24th March 5 pm. And GTB Nagar batches for English 17 March 8 am, 25 March 6 pm. And for Hindi 16 March 11 am. For more details, visit our website or call us on the given numbers.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask that how you have incorporated internet or AI for that matter for interview or mains answers.
Yeah, so for interview, I had used the chat GPT a lot. I'll tell him that this is the interest that I had filled and ask me questions. So it will ask, for example, my one of the participation of mine was in menstruation awareness campaign. So it will ask me questions like, what are the various arenas that you had worked? Then I'll think of an answer of it. Of course, you had done that thing, you know the answer, but the structuring part of it, which interview requires, because that is a very sharp and formal interaction. So for that, chat GPT worked. And also in main, sometime there is some PYQ, previous year question, and you do not know a very exact and a very formal answer to it, and even the model answer somewhere are not matching to your expectations, then you can just Google that question, or ask the chat GPT the answer to that question, or some relevant data that it can put into that question. So that way I used AI and chat GPT.
Before interview, you did not pay much attention on it.
During the mains a little, but yeah, major usage
Notes
wasn't.
making or something?
No, no, no.
Notes making many you did
I,
in a conventional way
I
only.
felt that ChatGPT is not very trustworthy. Sometimes it give false information as
Okay,
well.
okay. Certainly, that is a risk.
Yeah.
That is a risk. Okay. By the way, like people also are curious to know, like in this digital age, it sometimes become very difficult to deal with the social media. So, what was your strategy about it?
Social media, once I was not a very interested person in social media. I am an introvert. I always want to disconnect myself with a lot of people and the noises. So that was never an issue with respect to management. But I would say that if you can manage it, it's really work for you. Sometimes it gives you information. For example, in Instagram only, if you had subscribed to Niti Aayog or Ministry of External Affairs work, you in real times know what is happening, and
Certainly.
that you can just give an example to some question. For example, there was a meeting with respect to secretaries of the Turkey, and that question could be generally that just an example could be written with respect to diplomatic balancing of India or something. So that way it works. Social media works. And also you always required some leisure time. You always required some time where you need to just do what you want to do, and that time scrolling some reels or doing some YouTube shorts, I don't think it harms you. It just makes you more relaxed.
All right. So basically, the current affairs and for the relaxation, you use
Yes,
social
yes.
media. All right. So I think that we have covered your journey quite extensively. Is there anything that you would like to share with the future aspirants with respect to the examination, or any advice would you like to give them?
I'll just say that the journey is difficult for everybody, and in its very early phase, you really don't know what to do, and everybody, even the topper, doesn't know what to do. So just start doing things. Do not lose your consistency. Motivation is very fickle in days. Sometimes you lose out on everything. The marks will also be low. This has happened to everybody of us. So just work on the direction, back yourself, back your dream, and put whatever you have in that. The results may be sometimes not in the line that you wanted, but that is just the part of the journey. It's better to fail in the mock rather than failing in the final exams. So I think that is the way you should continue to going, and don't make it the life of yours. Take it just a time where you are focusing on your dreams, and you are putting your everything to clear an exam. So that way it makes you a little lighter, and it allows you to have that consistency and continuity in it. So I believe that can let you to be there where you want to.
Certainly. So what I understand, like she's saying that that journey is difficult for sure. It does not matter who you are. It is a difficult examination, and because it is difficult, so it will not feel very comfortable and easy. But that's the challenge that you need to survive. You need to basically sail through the journey while knowing that it is difficult, but you have taken up a difficult challenge. So try to come up with some discipline, try to come up with some consistency and motivation. As she said, that's quite fickle. It will not be there all the time, and there will be time when you will not be feeling very great about yourself and your decision that you started this preparation. But even then, that's where the challenge lies. So it was really nice talking to you, Swati.
Thank you so
I'm sure that you have now come into the services so early, so young, so you will be having enough time to be there in the services.
much.
Wish you all the best and a
Thank you,
very
thank you.
meaningful career in the civil services.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.